Yo, 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 what's going on, everyone? Welcome on into a DFS strategy video for the 2026 Wyndham Championship. My name is Eric, and I'm here with SweetSpotDFS to go over all the things you're going to want to know on how to target the optimal lineup this week. Last week was actually a pretty good week. I hope you all did good, or did well, I should say. We got the Hideki Matsuyama call correct. There was 3 golfers that I talked about. Jackson Koivin, Hideki, Jake Knapp. Jake Knapp missed the cut. Koivin finished 31st. Didn't really score enough points to get it done. But then there was Hideki. I said 1 of 3. I was going to play them in 33% of my lineups. But what I ended up doing is playing them in 50% of my lineups. But I overlapped a little bit with some of them. So one of my lineups did well enough to win my money back. So it was all good. It was all good. You had a Michael Thorbjornsen note, right? That's awesome, Michael Kennedy. A reminder, by the way, this is a live stream. So I have people in the chat right now. I mean, a bunch of chats. Sorry for starting a little bit later than the typical 8 o'clock, but I see Michael Kennedy in the chat, Joanne, Johnny B, T-Mac, first time seeing you, man. Decky getting steamed up. Yeah, and I actually have a Hideki take this week. So we'll get there eventually, but just a reminder of what I'm going to be covering in this video. Golf course and tournament information, pass optimal and GPP winning lineups. We'll go into the bucket system, I think, probably, maybe not. I'm not sure. Last week, I enjoyed going through this really fast and doing the whole stream within an hour. That was awesome. This one will probably be a little bit more in depth. It won't be a short video, but it should be a little shorter. So yeah, maybe I'll go over the bucket system. Then I'll go over the Marquee Tee Times and then build lineups using the optimizer, the SweetSpotDFS optimizer. It looks like this if you've never seen it before. It is on an Excel spreadsheet. You guys can request it if you'd like to use it. Yeah, I'll be using it throughout this video. So if you got questions on it, if you're new and you want to use it and you haven't ever seen it before, this is your time. Ask me some questions. To access it, go to SweetSpotDFS.com. Let me pull it up. And there's a link down in the description below. If you go to that link and you would go down to the optimizer page or the optimizer dropdown, you will come to a page. A pop-up will appear like the one you see on the screen. You enter your email address here and request now, and I will send you an optimizer. For those that have sent in requests, my apologies. I just got the optimizer ready right before going on stream. So it looks like I need to send it out to Mr. Marlowe and Edward, I believe. So I will send it out to you guys here shortly. But yeah, that's how you'd go about requesting the optimizer. I do a pretty bad job of reminding you how to do that. But this is the optimizer we'll use. It has all of the SweetSpot conditionals in there. It follows the SweetSpot process 100%. So no matter what I'll talk about tonight, you don't really necessarily have to remember what I talk about. It is built in to the optimizer. So yeah. I'm going to pull that down and just remind you guys, I do giveaways weekly and monthly. We are doing a monthly giveaway tonight because it is the first Tuesday of the new month. We will probably have another, I'll be doing these monthly giveaways every month. But I think this is probably the last big one, I would assume, since football season's around the corner. So yeah, to participate, be subscribed, comment on the YouTube comments. I do roll calls. And what I mean by the YouTube comments, this is obviously YouTube. When this goes on replay, currently we're live, but once I hit the end broadcast button, it then goes back to YouTube for you to be able to play it all over again. Go to that video and comment down below. That's how you'll get an additional entry. I do roll calls at every 1 hour mark. So I will do a couple roll calls probably tonight, and you'll be able to get 2 entries. You got to be here to get them. It is my way to reward you guys for coming to the stream, watching it for as long as you have. And that's how you can gain multiple entries. But yeah, $5 weekly, and then a SweetSpot DFS membership monthly. And then if we hit the goal, which we've plateaued, We've actually dropped a couple subscribers since the Open Championship, which is it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. So we'll have to wait to get to 1,000 maybe by next year, I guess, next calendar year. It's my guess. But we'll see. We'll see. If you guys can help me out on that, that'd be wonderful, because I do have another giveaway. It is a $1,000 SweetSpotDFS.com giveaway. Go create an account on SweetSpotDFS.com. That's all you got to do to get an entry into this giveaway. But once this channel reaches 1,000 subscribers, I will be running these giveaways. One is a lifetime membership to SweetSpotDFS. The other one is an annual membership. We can start that whenever. And then 2 $100 cash giveaways. So that is also available for you guys. But yeah, those are all the giveaways. Let's go ahead and run one. I will hit I'll get back to the chat here shortly. We are going to start with the weekly subscriber giveaway. 15 total entries. We had a couple people who read the description and found out how to get double entries. There's always an Easter egg in there to get double entries. And then just one roll call, because it was like less than an hour last week for the stream that I did. But here we go. We are running this giveaway right now. Denny Berry, congratulations. You get $5. Let's go ahead and run the monthly giveaway. This is for a monthly subscription to SweetSpotDFS.com. We can start this whenever. Here we go. 84 total entries, or 86 total entries. Thank you all for participating. Joanne, congratulations. I know you already are a monthly, or maybe you're not. I can't remember. But either way, you, ma'am, you've won a monthly subscription to SweetSpotDFS.com. We can start that whenever. This is probably the last big push, because we have the Wyndham. This is the last event of the regular season. Then we have the St. Jude Classic, or St. Jude, whatever it's called, the FedEx St. Jude something. BMW Championship, and then the Tour Championship. So we have 4 total events. That is 1 month. So we could start it now and you can have it, or we can keep it until whenever you want to use it. Now, one thing I want to say, I kind of also forget to do this every once in a while. Oh, roll it again. Okay. Joanne says roll it again. Here we go. We'll do it. Thank you, Joanne. Johnny B, I think this is your first time winning a monthly subscription or a monthly subscriber giveaway. So let me know. Hopefully you have an account at SweetSpotDFS.com. If you don't, I can't really give it to you, because I don't create one for you. You got to create it for yourself. So go hit the link in the description, go create yourself an account, and we can add a monthly subscription to it. So there you go. Thank you so much, Joanne. Okay, now here's the thing. If you have giveaways that you've been banking, and for those that don't understand what banking your giveaways are, I give you the option, because I have merch. I have merchandise. If you would like merchandise instead of cold hard cash, we can obviously do that. I'm wearing the Iron Man SweetSpot DFS shirt. This is one of the options. I have 3 other options really for shirts. I gotta put those on the website at some point in time just to show you guys what they are. But now we have hats. We got a black SweetSpot DFS hat that is stitched. It's really nice. I think it looks really nice. So we got a black one, and we have a white one. So if you have money that's banked up, these hats are $40. That includes shipping, so we don't have to worry about shipping or anything like that. It's $40. $40. So if you are banking up your giveaways, I don't know, some of you guys, you have banked ones. I know that for certain. I just don't know who you are. I don't remember how much you have banked, so you have to let me know. If it seems suspicious, I'll go back and look, but I trust most of you guys, if not all of you guys. Yeah. And if you just want a shirt, like T-Mac, you're in the chat, I see you. If you want a shirt or a hat, the hats are $40. That includes shipping. And actually the t-shirts are $40. That includes shipping. So, because I use FedEx, so I'll just go to FedEx. It's $14 flat fee. Most of the shirts are $25. I mean, it's like $27, and the hats are like $26. So I'm kind of just, you know, having you kind of cover the cost of the hats, and then I just cover, well, I guess you're covering the hat and the shipping. But anyways, yeah, you can do that. Email me at SweetSpotDFS.com. The email should come up here pretty soon. Let me know that you're interested if you want to purchase any of those things. Otherwise, you can always wait for giveaways. Okay. I'm going to talk with the chat. A reminder for people that are watching this on replay. Obviously, this is live. I'm going to talk to BMac in the chat. Let's go. Heck yeah, buddy. Michael Kennedy also missed the week last week. That's okay. I streamed on Wednesday night, so it wasn't like I was giving you guys a lot of time to process and digest all the information that I was putting out there. Double J checking in. What's going on, Double J? Nice to see you, man. Really glad that I can do that for the family, says Joanne. That's awesome, dude. AJ's wearing the Iron Man the Iron Man DFS shirt as well. Love it. Man, the chat is crazy today. What's going on, guys? I love it. I thought I was spinning, says Johnny B. You won, buddy. Yo, I'm a UPS driver. We need to get you in the Big Brown. Or get you on Big Brown. Yeah, it's just, there's a FedEx close to me. I'd have to drive a little extra to go to the UPS store to do it. But I guess if it's cheaper, then yeah, maybe. Maybe there's a storm in Minnesota. Huh? Oh, it's lagging for you? Everything's good on my side. I see the stream is, we are not dropping frames. Michael Kennedy says frozen? Oh, now it's better. Oh, well, that sucks. I don't know what was going on. And there is no storm. So who knows what the heck was going on. All right, everybody. I went through the chat. If you guys heard that, wonderful. If you didn't, my apologies. But we're moving on. We're going to move on right into the golf course and tournament information. I think I'm going to go quick like I did last week. So here we go. Did you guys know that SweetSpotDFS.com is my website, and I will be going over this entire tournament, the Wyndham Championship, through my website. So this first tool is called Tournament Stats. When you are here under Select Tournament, put in the tournament we're talking about, the Wyndham Championship. Here you will find a bunch of information, detailed information in the table down below. It includes your winning score, your cut score, your strength of field, the amount of golfers in the field. Up here on the top right are summary boxes. This basically gives you the average win score, you know, some other pieces here, average cut score, field size, average field size, I should say, average strength of field. But yeah, we can take a look here, and it looks like the strength of field has been consistent over the last 3 years, which is surprising. This isn't one of the marquee tournaments on tour, but it is the last tournament of the season. So if people are looking to make the playoffs, the FedEx Cup playoffs, they are here. You know, if they win, they're probably in no matter what, but they'd want a good finish here and go forward. I can't believe Tom Kim. I have to change this name. I don't understand why that has that. I have no idea why it has his birth name, his Korean name, but that is Tom Kim. That's so goofy. I did not notice that. Anyways, what should you do with this information? This is one of those things that I've battled with myself. Like if I re-listen to my streams to try to get the timestamps, or if I'm listening to anybody else and they go over the tournament information, they go over the golf course, there's no payoff. There's no, hey, these are the best golfers with these stats. Hey, these look, I just talked about this, and now let's look at the golfers that are really good at these things. Nobody does that. Bothers the hell out of me. But here I'm going to tell you guys, go to the website. I'm letting you guys, I'm showing you guys how to use the website. Go to the website, grab these pieces of data to use for filtering. One of my favorite tools to go to is the strokes gain stats tool. Up in this top right box that's up here, you'll see 10 golfers, but if you scroll down, it's the entire field that's playing at the Wyndham Championship this week. This little summary box up here, you can manipulate, I guess, or not manipulate. You can filter by, what am I trying to say? Terminology matters. How about this? Let's start over. You can use the filters over here. So tournament stats, we already saw that the average field size is about 150, but obviously we have 147 this week. So we could go to 147 to 160. And winning score was what, minus 22 on average? Let's double check that. Nope, minus 19. Last week it was minus 22. So minus 19. So I just want to give like 2 points, you know, 2 points below, 2 points above. So minus 17 to minus 21. So then I would go down here with the winning score. Remember, the low scores on the left side. So say minus 21. And then the high scores on the right side, we go minus 17. And when we do that, these are just those data points we covered with the tournament stats right here, the average winning score. So when we come back, I would say filter by strokes gained total, top to bottom. And now you'll see the best golfers. But one caveat or one thing to mention is look at the amount of rounds of golf. I would change this date filter that I've already kind of pre-filtered on here. It's from 7/31 of 2025 all the way to now. This is just 1 year's worth of data. But if you were to move this filter however far back you want to go, personally, I would want to get to a point where there's a good golfer that has around like 40 rounds of golf. So maybe we move it back to 2022. How about 2023? This is perfect. This is perfect. Cam Young has 36 rounds. Brian Harman has 36 rounds. Hideki has 26 rounds. This is fine by me. So now when we look at this, you can see the golfers, if you sort by strokes gained total from top to bottom, you can see the best golfers with those filters we just placed. Remember, field size 140 to 160. We scroll down. Winning score minus 21 to minus 17. You could filter even further than that, but I don't recommend it because now you might be putting too many filters on this. And I would actually recommend clearing the filters and then redoing it and putting different filters in just to see the different types of golfers. And I'll show you how to do that here. But here you go. Here's your top 10 list of the golfers with the criteria that I just put. Blades Brown only has 8 rounds of golf. That's worth noting. If you drill down into his name, you can see the tournaments where those conditions are met. Corrales Punta Cana, which was not too long ago, and the John Deere Classic finished 11th and 12th. This is tailor-made for him, this type of tournament. It is also worth noting that both of those tournaments, although you can't see, but if you were to go to the tournament stats page or the golf course stats page, you could see this. These are not Bermuda golf courses. And we'll get into that here shortly. Corrales Punta Cana is like a paspalum grass, and John Deere Classic's bent grass. So how is Blades Brown going to do on Bermuda? That's something to take into account, take into consideration. But I just wanted to show you, if you drill down in each of these golfers, you can see which tournaments meet the criteria that we filtered by on this tool. But yeah, Blades Brown, Hideki Matsuyama, Ryan Gerard, Brian Harman, Stefano Mazzoli, Cameron Young, Keegan Bradley, Jackson Quaven, Emiliano Grillo, and Aaron Rai. The cheapest guy is Stefano Mazzoli, and that's because of his Corrales Punta Cana win. He just also met the Rocket Classic meets the criteria that we just filtered by. He missed the cut and not even close. So maybe pump your brakes on that. And you can also scroll down on the list and see the next few golfers like Ben Griffin, Billy Horschel, Rasmus Højgaard, Mav McNeely, better golfers to choose. This is not a, end all be all. Just if there are golfers you like that you see on this list, maybe this is a good reason to anchor around those golfers. So that's just kind of my idea there. Now, I told you I wouldn't add more filters. I would just kind of redo it. So I have little eraser markers that you can't really see, but you can see if you hover over, there's a clear selections. So we can grab different data points to use. How about a cut score? You know, the winning score is pretty, it's relatively low compared to most PGA Tour events. So maybe we want to ignore the winning score and use the cut score. So I would recommend like -1 to -3. I think that's probably the best way to look at it. And we can kind of confirm that by looking here. The cut score is actually, it's -3 a lot. So maybe -2. Yeah, now we're kind of nitpicking. I still think -1 to -3. I think that's probably the best way to go about it. Nah, I'm going to do -2 to -3. So if we went back to the strokes gained stats, we do have cut score right here. So remember, lowest score on the left side, highest score on the right side. So when the cut score is between -2 to -3, hey, we still have golfers that have 32 rounds of golf, which I like to see. Now it kind of changes a little bit, but at the same time, it doesn't. So Cam Young, Jackson Koiven, Blades Brown, Hideki Matsuyama, McNeely. Now this is the first time we've seen Justin Thomas, Ryan Gerard, Brennan, Ryan Harmon, Davis Thompson. Here's one thing to note. A lot of times, you know, like the winning score that we just use for a data point to filter, yeah, those cut scores are probably going to be pretty much the same for those types of tournaments. You're going to have a low scoring event, you're going to have a low scoring cut. So it kind of goes hand in hand, but you just never know. Maybe there are a couple other events where those scores come into play. Now, those are just small stats. You know, those are tournament stats. Maybe you don't care about tournament stats, which is fine. That's fine. Strength of field would be another one I would look at, by the way, just throwing that out there. So I would also go into the tournament stats filter, clear out what you just put in, so cut score, obviously, and we can add strength of field. I would use the old strength of field. This is the one that I constantly update. The new one is the new OWGR, and I'm not always vigilant with updating that. But we are, say, 340 to 400. Let's go 340 to 400. Because that's the last 3 years that we kind of saw right down in this box. It is basically 362 to 400. So maybe we wanted to boost it, but I'll keep it as it is. And if you look here, now the golfers change, but some of them stay the same. Jackson Koiven, Cam Young, they've been in all of these. Ben Griffin has been lurking on all of them. I do not see, already forgot the names. Yeah, there's Hideki. So Hideki isn't too far down here, and neither is Ryan Gerard, but those guys kind of dropped. Now we've got Marco Penge, Jason Day, Sepp Straka, Brooks Koepka, Harris English, Jordan Spieth, and Sung J M. Those are kind of new golfers that kind of come in here. So if you like them, perfect. I'm going to go ahead and clear those out. Let's talk about the golf course really quickly, and then we're going to move into Pass Optimal and GPP winning lineups. So we go to the golf course. On this page, it's under Fantasy Tools, Golf Course Stats. Put in Wyndham Championship, put in Sedgefield Country Club, make sure that those two are put there together. And then you also, on this page, you have more summaries. So you can see the turf grass, the green size, the bunkers, the water holes. These are all data points you can use on SweetSpotDFS.com to research which golfers you find worthwhile. And then down here is just kind of a chart of what type of shots matter at this golf course. If you don't care about looking at the specifics, you can look at the summary up here with the off the tee shot shapes, the approach shot shapes. And then, like I said, now instead of using the tournament stats filter, we can use the golf course stats filter. We can look at the golf course, the facility, the architect, what state it is in. The Wyndham Championship is being played in North Carolina. So we can look at all tournaments in North Carolina. And if you really want to go even deeper into it, I would use just the whole surrounding area. So North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Florida, use those as like a region. That would be perfect. Soil conditions, you can use that. How many water hazards are present? You can use this as a data filter. I have it all, guys. I have it all. So if you want to come in here and just take a look, I mean, what did we see? What would be, well, Bermuda for sure. So let's go ahead and look to see which golfers. Oh, I'm sorry. That's golf course stats. The little grass icon here, grass stats. So, and I have quick buttons you can look at or you can click on. So green grass, yeah, let's go ahead and just put Bermuda in there and let's just keep it there. But we do have like 90 some rounds for some of these golfers. So let's move the date filter a little bit to where we can get some of these guys down to 36 that are at the top. This is close enough. So this goes back to April of last year until present day. Koiven has the best. What tournament is this? The Wyndham Championship from last year. He finished 5th. So if there's more reason to play Jackson Koiven, there you go. Cam Young is up there yet again. Alex Fitzpatrick, Mac Meisner. I just heard Byron talk about Mac Meisner. I'd like Mac Meisner this week as well. Alex Noren. I was trying to convince Noren. He pops in Byron's model, and I was like, yeah, because he's good on Bermuda. He's been really good on Bermuda over this last year. 31st at Truist, 7th at the Cadillac, 65th at the RBC, but I think that's probably, I would say RBC and the Players. So here's what I have. I think I actually need to go update this. These tournaments shouldn't be there. It should just go right down to the API because these are overseeded. And I think the API is not, if I remember correctly. Anyways, he still is making the cut in each of these tournaments. RBC was a signature event, so there wasn't a cut, so that's kind of whatever. But still, 32nd at the Players, 24th at the API. Those are a long time ago. It's February, that's March in those months, so maybe that doesn't even matter. If you, I wouldn't look too much into it, but it does look like he probably putts better on Bermuda than any of the other surfaces. So this probably is a comfort zone for him, and I don't mind playing him. Byron also talked about Rasmus being good on Bermuda. Well, if you're going to say Rasmus is good on Bermuda, you got to say Alex is good on Bermuda as well. And it's weird how many European golfers are good on Bermuda. I was trying to wrap my head around that when I first looked at this. I think it has a lot to do with the fact that the grass is wiry over in, at least in England, because of how close it is to the sea. So the grass has to be resistant to the salt water of the sea. Usually that's where you get your paspalums. That's why they use fescue over there quite a bit. They also have a different type of bent grass that's a bit hardier than the bent grass that we use here in the United States. So maybe that's why European golfers are better on Bermuda. And they also kind of find their secondary homes in Florida and some of those other southern states. So yeah, I don't have an issue playing Noren. I don't have an issue playing Højgaard. Harry Hall, Hubbard, Alex Smalley. Smalley's from North Carolina, ladies and gentlemen. If you needed a good reason to play Alex Smalley, that's it. But also another one is he's good on Bermuda. And so too is the new Bermuda Benny. You know, the old Bermuda Benny was Ben Martin. Ben Martin was Bermuda Ben. Ben Griffin is Bermuda Ben now. I like Ben Griffin a lot this week. Ben Griffin and Cam Young, that's why they're the thumbnail. That's why they're the guys on the thumbnail. They are probably the best golfers in this field for this tournament. So yeah, like I said, use the tools that you see, gather the data points, use the data points when it comes to finding the golfers that you like. And like Forrest Gump says, that's all I gotta say about that. All right, I'll check out the chat and then move on to pass optimal and GPP wing lineups. All right, let's see. You guys, the chat is just going off. Love it, dude. It's because Brock Lesnar retired, Minnesota is broken. Oh, that was another reason I should have stayed in the cities this last weekend. I ended up going up to Two Harbors to play in a golf tournament. Got absolutely screwed out of playing in the championship flight. I can't stand that tournament anymore. It's now off my list. They would have to give me a free entry next year in order for me to go and play. But I'm not going back and playing that. But I missed out a wedding with the date that I was on last Tuesday, if you remember that. She asked me to be her wedding date, and I was like, well, I already have a golf tournament that I'm supposed to be a part of, so missed that. But then there was SummerSlam too. I would have gone to SummerSlam if I was still in the cities, but I missed out on that. I would have liked to have seen Brock. That'd have been cool. But Johnny's still overweight with purple and blue hair. Johnny who? Which Johnny? Tournament has played easy, mid, and hard before. That's true, but by and large, it plays easy. My favorite play this week is the same guy I had last week. Any guesses? The Jackson Coiven? Did it to yourself. Nice winner at the very end of the golf season, Johnny, or should I say Sheezen? I bet Tom. Decky went from 35 to 1 to 40 to 1 to 23 to 1. Interesting. Chris Kirk. Okay. Cam Young is not going to win, AJ. Ooh, Joanne coming out swinging. Joanne, I picked Kirk to win. Blades is good. I love Blades. Had a very bad card last week, says Joanne. Hideki, Young, Blades, Kirk. Let's go. Joanne, I won $2 last week. I played $T. Had a lot of missed cuts, unfortunately. We don't know what $T are. Blades is elite on Bermuda. Are we looking at like Corn Ferry stuff? Bermuda, Bahama, come on, pretty mama. I like that. That's a good one. I like David Thompson here as well. I like David Thompson as well. Decky just woke up. Is Griffin a trap play? Nah, I don't think so. AJ says he has it all of the merch. Light up the chat, says Double J. How about light up the likes? That's something I've never said, or I haven't said in a long time. If this stream can get up to 25 likes, I will give away 5 YouTube memberships. So hit up the likes. Okay, moving on. Let's go to the pass optimal and GPP winning lineups. Okay. I said this last week. I'm going to say it again this week. There's no Scotty Scheffler. There's no $15,000 golfer. The most expensive golfer we have is Cam Young at $10,400 and then Jackson Coiman at $10,100. DraftKings has just been very weird with pricing this year because then the next expensive guy is Hideki Matsuyama at $9,500. I don't get it. This makes lineup building like really easy for most people. I don't know if DraftKings is just trying to entice people more into playing. I mean, if we just look at the totals, you have 2 10K golfers. If we went to 9, we have 6 9K golfers. And then for 8K golfers, we have our 10 like we typically do. We have how many? Okay, so 6 9K golfers. Yeah, 6 to 7 9K golfers is the typical number, but 4 to 5 10K golfers is the typical number. 8 has always been, like 8K range has always had 10 golfers in it. Always. Like that's the staple of DraftKings. But this is, this is a low number to have 8K and above. So building lineups is probably going to be a bit more challenging than usual, or maybe it's just going to be, maybe it's actually easier. Because if you just lock in certain golfers like Jackson or Cam Young and Ben Griffin, if you just lock them in, you can build any lineup you want. Any lineup you want. If you follow the 10-9-8-7-7-6 method, that whole strategy, that's probably the best way to build lineups this week. But if you truly want to see what has worked at the Wyndham Championship in the past, you would go to SweetSpotDFS.com, under Fantasy Tools, Historic Salary Builds, under Select Tournaments, type in Wyndham Championship. And now you have all of the lineup, and it is 10-9-8-7-7-6. You have all of the lineups that have been successful. I keep track of 3 lineups. 3. The GPP winner, the optimal lineup, and the Sweet Spot Optimal. You drill down on Sweet Spot Optimal, here's what I'll say. All of these lineups here will be $49,600 and above, unless you just can't build a lineup that even rivals a GPP winning lineup. So this 49,400, that's probably the closest that I could have got to 49.6. But the Sweet Spot Optimal is the most realistic optimal lineup, because how many times have you ever heard some of the high-end content creators in this DFS golf realm say, you shouldn't follow the optimal lineup because a lot of times you got to leave $5,000 on the table, and that's just unrealistic. Yeah, I know. So that's why we created rules. 49.6 means you can only leave up to $400 on the table. That's realistic, right? Because most GPP winning lineups leave $0 on the table. Zero. So if you drill down on optimal, then we take a look. Oh, not optimal, sorry. We drill down on GPP winner. You can see, okay, for the Wyndham, it's a little different. Not bad. One last year, $49,500 was spent. So they left $500 on the table. But 49.8, 50,000, 49.6, 50,000, 49.9, 49.8. It's common. I've done this for so long. I know this inside and out. You don't need to leave a lot of money on the table to be successful. I have too many followers that leave thousands of dollars on the table. It's like, no. Don't do that. That's stupid. Don't do that. It's very dumb. Very dumb. Use up all the salary. It's a power ranking. Salaries are power rankings for your golfers. So anyways, I keep track of 3 of them, 3 lineups. If we drill down into each of these lineups, we can see what years those lineups were used. And 10.9.8.776 has been seen to be a successful lineup build at this event 6 times, 24%. And if we look at the years that it was, almost unique, almost every, like no, what would we call it? Duplicates, I guess. You know, multiples per year. 2025, 2023, 2020, 2019 twice, and then 2018. And most of them don't even leave in a lot of money on the table. 10.9.8.776. So again, talking about the whole Cam Young into Ben Griffin lineup, that's not terrible. 10.9, at least you're starting with a 10.9. You just got to find your 8, your 2 7s, and a 6. And I think that's going to be pretty easy. More common lineups, 10.8.8.776. So we're replacing a 9 with an 8. The next one is a 10.8.8.777. We're replacing the 9 with an 8 and a 6 with a 7. That accounts for 40% of your lineups that have been successful at the Wyndham Championship, all starting with 10Ks, all starting with a 10K. Now, here's what I will say. If you want a really deep dive, okay, Eric, sure, but there was probably, 5 or 6 10K golfers in the past at some of these events. Here's a beautiful tool called the Bucket System that you can go to on SweetSpotDFS.com. And if you scroll all the way down on this tool, you can see bucket totals per year. I would focus on the salaries 10K and above. Make sure there's no red boxes. Just drill into the red box to get rid of it. And you can see how many 10K golfers there have been every single year. There were 9 in 2022. Is that real? 9? Okay. I got to fix that. It's counting blanks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 10K golfers. Well, that's unfortunate. Is that going to be constant? Oh my God. Okay. Well, that sucks. Yep. I need to fix that ASAP, actually, because this is such a poor representation. Yeah. We only had 4 on that for that year. We did have 5. Okay, so most of these are correct, but some of them aren't. 6 is the most we've ever seen. That was in 2018. 6 is the most. So yeah, these are your totals. 3, 6, 4. This was 5. If you remember, we took 4 blanks out. This one was 4, I believe. Yeah, that one was 4. And then it was 5, 5, 6, 5. We only have 2 this year. We only have 2 10K golfers, so you have to keep that in mind. If you want to look at this summary here, this 10K, if you just read across, 24% of all 10K golfers have finished inside the top 10. We have seen a 10K golfer inside the top 10 every single year. That's what the 100% frequency here means. Every single year, we've seen at least one inside the top 10. So take it or leave it. They're only two golfers, but they're pretty quality golfers. Cam Young, I have way more trust in than I do with Jackson Koivin, but Jackson Koivin has been, I mean, he just won 2 weeks ago. His first time on tour, really. I mean, he just became a PGA Tour member this year. He wins an event, then plays the next week. It's a lot of firsts going on. First time winning, first time dealing with the press after a win, first time with the spotlight on you after being a winner. Like, there's a lot of things that he had to deal with. He still finished 31st. And he has a 5th place finish here last year at the Wyndham Championship. I think he's poised to do well yet again. So we only have two 10K golfers this week. I still feel confident anchoring around a 10K golfer. Because I will say this, building lineups is going to be very challenging if you try to spread it out. Think of it this way. If you don't play a 10K golfer and you drop into the 9Ks, in order to build a lineup, you would have to play 3 9K golfers. Or 2 9s, 2 8s, 2 7s, something like that. But more often than not, you're going to want to spend the salary, the $50,000 of the salary. And the only way to do that is to get the most expensive of the 9s, the most expensive of the 8s, the most expensive of the 7s. You're probably not going to do that when it's just like a 9 9, 8 8, 7 7. But you could do 3 9s and 8 and 2 7s. You could do something like that. And if you build lineups like I do, I set up a limit and how often I play a golfer, like exposure. I set an exposure limit. Well, if I only have Matsuyama at 16%, let's just say all these 9K golfers I only have at 16%, I'm going to hit those thresholds really fast if I'm using 3 9K golfers in a lineup. Because let's say that first lineup I build, it's Matsuyama, Thomas, and Gerard. 95, 94, 93. That's one lineup. Currently, their exposure's 100%. So if I use the optimizer to build more lineups and I want to ignore the 10K range, well, now I can't use Gerard, Thomas, Matsuyama. I got to now use Tom Kim, Ben Griffin, and Mav McNeely. And now I've used up the 9K range. Now, after I build lineup number 2, anchoring around those 3 golfers, now everyone's exposure in the 9K range becomes 50%. And if I set a limit of, say, again, I'll make it an easier number. Let's say 25%. I can't get there unless I build a lineup of all 8K golfers, or then I'd have to jump into the 9K or the 10K range. Now, if you're one of those that only builds one lineup, you can get away with that. You can just, whatever rules work for you. But for someone like me, I build 100 lineups. So I set exposures based off of my risk tolerance of how much I want to play some of these golfers. If I just anchor around a 10K golfer and a 9K golfer and just build out all the different possibilities from there, I'm feeling pretty good about my chances. And again, I like Cam Young this week and I like Ben Griffin this week. We have some good 9K options outside of those golfers as well. But yeah, I think 10, 9, 8, 7, 7, 6 is the way to go this week, ladies and gentlemen. So that's kind of what I'm going to do. I'm not going to talk anymore about the pass optimal and GPP wing lineups. I think that was a good, I guess, primer for you guys to come to the website, do your own research, find what works for you. I know I want to do 10, 9, 8, 7, 7, 6. It is the most common lineup build. If I don't end up going that route, I don't mind doing a 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 6 or a 10, 8, 8, 2, 7, 6. But I like the 9K range. The 9K range is pretty good. So I don't mind starting there. But of course, we can explore this building lineups a little bit later in the stream. So yeah, that's it. That's what all I have for the pass optimal and GPP winning lineups. I'll check out the chat. How much money are we leaving on the table? AJ, I'm never going to leave more than $500 on the table, ever. And really, I probably won't ever leave more than $400 on the table. Answered my question, the Minnesota Psychic. I was on Coles, but he hasn't played well here. Yeah. And then T-Mac goes until he does. That's also true. He could. He misses cut and then wins a tournament. I am full fading Cam. Just kidding. Koiven first start as pro, miss cut, then win. Yeah, he did miss the cut and then he won. That's right. You're correct. All right. We are going to get into the bucket system. I don't know how in depth I'm going to go with this, but I have an idea. So yeah, we'll do that. If you guys want to follow along here, let me show you something. If you go to the cheat sheet at SweetSpotDFS.com, under the cheat sheet, there's a second page. If you scroll down, you'll find this down here. Now you can follow along using this on the website. I recommend under this cheat sheet that I'm highlighting, there's a click here button. If you click that, you go to the Google sheet that I provide still. I said I was going to get rid of this at the open. Well, I haven't been able to make the updates on the website that I need to in order to get rid of this. So this is still available for you guys. There are tabs at the bottom. One's called the bucket system. So you guys can actually look at the same thing that I'm looking at. So if you want to follow along, that's how you do it. Go check that out. I'm going to go back to my page though. And I will put a filter on this. I already have some filters in here that I need to get rid of. Oh, nope, we want them all. And then let's get rid of this as well. That was kind of an old way that I used to look at this. Zoom in just a little bit. There we go. All right, so I keep track of 6 different stat categories. Last year, last week, course history, recent form, salary, and salaries, or salary and strokes gained. If you want to read about the bucket system, I have an article on the website. You can actually go down in the description, find SweetSpotDFS.com, and then here I'll show you. Under fantasy tools, if you go down to articles, you will find there's a bucket system down there. I also have a video that explains what the bucket system is. That is in the description. There's a link for that one in the description. So go check it out if you guys are interested. Okay, let's just go stat by stat. So I'm going to clear this out and we're only going to look at last year just to get rid of the noise. I don't want you guys to get overwhelmed with what's on the screen. I'm trying something different this week. I have learned throughout this year, and I've been very dubious about this in the past, because when it comes to the optimizer, and especially the Scotty Scheffler rule, most of you guys know what that is. Scotty Scheffler rule is whenever he's in the field, whatever bucket he is a part of, we reduce the projection by 1, or the minimum at least. So what I ended up doing was, under the minimum projection, I created a second piece to the formula that goes into it. It's whenever there are more than 2 9K golfers in that bucket, I reduce the minimum projection by 0.75. It was originally just going to be 1. I was going to reduce it by 1, but that put a lot of my numbers in negatives. So 0.7, 0.75 was the sweet spot of a reduction. So what that helps us do, if you guys are not familiar with how I go about this, these are projections. And the projections mean how many golfers do we think from each of these buckets that will finish inside the top 10 of this week's field. So of the Wyndham Championship in 2026, how many golfers who top 20'd from the year before do we expect to see inside the top 10? I'm projecting 1 to 4. Now, I only changed the minimum. That's it. I did not change the maximum. I'm going to allow the maximum to always be the highest number possible. And just for those that are unfamiliar with this, we always round up with the maximum, whatever that projection number is. So this 3.58 turns into a 4. And we always round down with the minimum. So 1.09 becomes 1. So this is a 1 to 4 projected bucket. And if you wanted to use the cheat sheet to look further into this, go to the dream sheet, put a filter on it, and then under the last year one bucket, we can see all of the golfers that fit under the last year one bucket. These are golfers who top 20'd at the Wyndham Championship last year. So you can either look at this cheat sheet that I provided you guys on the Google Sheets, or an easier way to do this, in my opinion, is go to the website, go to the cheat sheet, and then under the buckets here, just click on one for last year, the last year one bucket. And there you have it. You have 20 golfers, the same golfers you see on the spreadsheet, and it will show you what their finishes were last year. Now, what I have always done in these videos is we take a look at the golfers. How good are these golfers? And we compare that to the projections. Do the projections make sense for the golfers that are in the bucket? Now, during the golf course and tournament information section of this video, what I ended up saying was I like Cam Young and I like Ben Griffin. They're two golfers in this bucket. So if I look at this projection, if I come back to the cheat sheet, the minimum is 1 to 4. Well, I'm selecting two golfers. I'm in the clear now. I don't have to even worry about trying to find more golfers if I don't want to. So if I use the optimizer, just to show you what this would look like, I would anchor in Cam Young and Ben Griffin. And by the way, they're not in the same Marquee Tee Times, so this is great. So Cam Young, Ben Griffin, put those guys together, hit run optimizer, and it will look at all the other buckets, all of the other buckets that have conditions in them, and it will build me a lineup. Look at this, ladies and gentlemen. Cam Young, Ben Griffin, 10-4-9-1. Mac Meisner, $8,100. Keith Mitchell, $79. Jordan L. Smith, $75. And Stephen Fisk, $6,900. I didn't even try. I didn't even put it in the conditions to do a 10-9-8-7-7-6. And that's what it spit out for me. Love it. Or if we didn't like some of these golfers, let's just say, okay, I don't want Keith Mitchell, although Keith Mitchell has played this tournament well in the past. Let's just say I don't want Keith Mitchell. I just sit no. Let's go ahead and run optimizer again. Boom. It goes 10-9-9 with 3 sevens. Now, I don't know about you guys. I don't feel that great about doing a 10-9-9 and 3 sevens. So it's going to kick out Rico Hoey. We can try to run the optimizer again. And now we get 10-9-8 again with 3 sevens. And that's fine. 3 sevens works for me. We get Jordan Smith again, JT Poston, who's played this tournament well in the past, and Rio Hisatsune, which I also really like. We can anchor in other golfers like Blades Brown. You know, obviously, a lot of people like Blades Brown this week. If you like Blades Brown with Cam Young and Ben Griffin, you just lock them in, and now a new lineup gets built. Rasmus Højgaard, Seabez, and Rio Hisatsune. I don't really care for Seabez, although he does play. I think he plays better on Bermuda than he does any other grass. But there we go. We kick him out, and now I get a lineup like this, and outside of the 4-7Ks, I really like this lineup. Cam Young, Ben Griffin, Blades Brown, Højgaard, Bud Cauley, Hisatsune. Now, we can make other adjustments here. I actually have the 7K range right now, anywhere between 2 to 6. I don't want 2 to 6. Let's just do 2 to 3. And now it won't do 4-7Ks. Cam Young, Ben Griffin, Spieth, Brown, Hisatsune, and Ricky Castillo. Run it again. 10-2-9s. 2 sevens and a 6. That works, but I don't really care for it. And now I get 10-9-8 and 3 sevens. And this one's good. So anyways, you guys can play around with the optimizer. I'm not going to continue doing this because it'll just take up too much time. But that's how you would read the projections. And I think that's probably what I'm going to leave the bucket system down to, is just go in and do your own research. Use the cheat sheet. Because I could go through each of these buckets, which we don't really need to do, because the more buckets a golfer is in, I've said this in the past, it doesn't guarantee he's going to be inside the top 10, but it just increases his chances. So I would say go look at some of your favorite golfers, see which buckets they're in, But just to let you guys know, I want to let you guys know that I did change the formula slightly just to make the minimum lower based off of how many 9K golfers were in that bucket. And then the maximums I just left the same, or I just left as is. So yeah, I think that's it. I'm not really that interested in going through all the buckets. It just adds way too much time to these streams, and I don't think it adds all that much more value to go through each of the buckets and just say, oh, there's Cam Young again. Oh, there's Ben Griffin again. Hey, these are golfers I already told you I liked. So here's more reasons as to why you should like them. But yeah, it's already built into the optimizer. That's the whole point of this. All of the projections that you would see on the cheat sheet or that I would go over, it's already baked in to the optimizer. So we could just find our favorite golfers and hit the run optimizer button and just see what lineups it spits out for us. So yeah, I think that's what I'm going to leave. I guess one thing I could do, because I've done this in the past, I've always gone through anchor buckets, and it's the buckets that always have at least one golfer in them that you want to play, like the minimum projection is 1 or greater. So we can go ahead and do that as well. So if it's greater than or equal to 1, we can go ahead and do that. And then let's say anything. I mean, I think these are your anchor buckets right here. Last year 1, you want at least one of those guys. Last year 5, those are golfers who missed the cut last year. There's actually a pretty high frequency of golfers from this bucket finishing inside the top 10, and we have spot on the same number that we typically do per field. So we have 40 golfers this week where we normally see 39.17, so 40 and 40. Golfers who did not play last week, last year at this event, normally we see about 69. We have 57 this week, but it's 100% frequency rate. It is a volume driven bucket. What we could do is just look at the golfers who are in that bucket. I'm going to go here and do it. We'll click out of there and go into last year's 6s and take a look. We have, Justin Thomas, Matt McNeely, Fitzpatrick, Brennan, Brooks Koepka, English, Harmon, Blades Brown. Yeah, there's already good golfers in this bucket that if we want to say, yeah, we want to play at least one of them, I think that's fine. It's borderline not fine, but it's pretty close to being okay. There's a lot of good golfers that are cheaper that are down here that playing them would be just fine. Yeah, I'm cool with that. Last week 5s, golfers who missed the cut at the Rocket Classic. Normally we only see 31 of them, but we do have 59 of those, or 59 golfers in the field this week. It's a 69% frequency rate, almost 70. So I'm assuming this must be like maybe 8 out of 13. Maybe, yeah, I think 8 out of 13 years is my guess of what golfers we've seen. Here's something worth noting. I do want to mention this, especially when we're talking about last week stats. So I do keep track of this on a different page. This is 2026 Rocket Classic, 3M Open, Open Championship. 2025, it was just a 3M Open that preceded this one, and then was the Open Championship. 2024, it was the Olympics, and then the 3M Open, and then the Open. 2023 was the 3M Open and Open. 2022 was the Rocket Classic 3M Open. 2021 was the St. Jude and the Barracuda, then the Olympics, then the 3M Open. 2020 was the PGA Championship, then it was St. Jude, Barracuda, 3M Open. So there's really no consistency as to which tournament preceded this one, the Wyndham Championship. So it is worth noting that, you know, the frequency that you see of 69.23, it might be worth going into the website, the bucket system, taking a look at just the last week 5s, and more importantly, I would go down here to the bucket totals and just highlight over the last year. Oh, you know what? The best way to do this would be to go up here. It's the last week 5s. So you drill down in that, and then you scroll down here. It's the only bucket you'll see in this little range here. So you can see the totals for each of these years. 2024, there were 0. Why would there be 0? Was there a no-cut event that preceded this one? Yeah, it was the Olympics. There was no cut. At least none of the golfers that play in the Wyndham Championship got cut. I don't remember if there's a cut, but yeah. No one in the field missed the cut. So that's why you have 0 as a number. And that also, I would have to exclude this, I think. Because this goes into the, this goes into the frequency numbers. So yeah, I would have to get rid of this one because there were 0. If I hadn't already. So maybe the frequency is better. Anyways, 58 golfers in 2025, 62 in 2023, 64 in 2022, 39 in 2021. If we go ahead and hit the top 10 counts, we want to track all the zeros outside of 2024. So last year there was 0 when there were 58 total. Then there was 0 in 2019, 0 in 2016. So 2019 and 2016, what were those totals? 21, so it's low. 45, which is high. 45 and 58. Those are high numbers. So we could dive deeper into this bucket by going up to here and selecting the year and looking at the golfers that were a part of that bucket and what their finishes were. We're not going to see any indicator of how good these golfers were. We would just have to use our eyeballs and just say, hey, these golfers were good or they're bad. Yeah, I mean, you had DA points, 14th. Garnett, Aiken, Kelly, Jerry Kelly, that is. This is 2016, remember. I mean, there aren't any golfers here that are even well-known names. Retief Goosen on his, at the end of his career on the PGA Tour. A young Nick Taylor. A younger Brian Harman. They all missed the cut. Brennan Todd missed the cut. But they're just not, Brian Harman and Retief Goosen are the only major champion winners from this group. So yeah, not a high quality group of golfers there. 2019. Let's see if we do a quick buzz of all the golfers. Patty Harrington, but that would be on his tail end of his career. There's just there's no really good golfers in this bucket either. So just kind of diving into the buckets that were unsuccessful. And I guess we could even look at last year, but that's fine. I kind of made my point. We take a look at, and just so everyone's aware, we're looking at the last week 5 bucket. We're looking at the last week 5 bucket. We're trying to figure out, golfers that were in that bucket. The years that had 0 top 10 finishers, were they even good golfers? And we just found out, no, they're not. So we go to the cheat sheet. Let's go ahead. Last week 5s. Let's take a look at the golfers that missed the cut last week. And guess what? Ben Griffin's one of our dudes. Ben Griffin, and then it drops into the 7K range, which is, yeah, this is kind of problematic. Ben Griffin, Eric Cole, Rasmus Nygaard Pearson, Pearson Coody, Denny McCarthy, Billy Horschel, Pendrith, Zach Boshu, Max McGreevy, Nico Echeverria, Harry Hall, Lee Hodges, Mackenzie Hughes. Hughes and Harry Hall, when we went over the golf course and tournament information, when we went through those filters, we found out that, hey, those were golfers that actually perform well under the conditions that we put in there. So maybe it's worthwhile playing. By the way, Denny McCarthy, if you guys put in the chat, his name, Denny McCarthy, in the chat after this goes to replay, not right now, after this goes to replay, anybody who puts a Denny McCarthy, and I'll probably end up doing, I'll have to do a, what would you call it? Holy crap. Basically what I do, the random, I'd have to pick a random winner, but you could win a signed Denny McCarthy golf ball. It's a Pro V. So if you just wanted to play it, you could do that. But it's a signed Denny McCarthy golf ball. So on replay, type his name down in the comment section, and you can get a chance to win the golf ball if Denny McCarthy wins. Denny McCarthy has to win the tournament, and whoever puts his name in the chat or in the comment section, you will have a chance to win. It'll be a random winner. So yeah, there are some decent names. Smotherman I like. I don't mind playing Webb Simpson here again. Like, this is his tournament. He named his daughter Wyndham after this tournament. Tom Hoagie, I don't mind. Andrew Putnam, I don't mind. Marty Schmid, absolutely. Sign me up. Seamus Power, what did I say at the Rocket Classic? He's been playing some several tournaments in a row. He's got a bad back. He missed the cut. So, there you go. I'm not playing it. I'm going to display it and show everyone. Yeah, I'm not going to play that golf ball. That'd be silly for me. I don't want to just lose a signed Denny McCarthy golf ball in the woods. Okay, so just looking at the field, it's very interesting. I feel like these are better golfers than those other years that we looked for last week 5, but I am very curious to see what the 2025 season look like for golfers in this bucket. We sort salary from top to bottom. Okay, so Siwoo Kim missed the cut. Max Grazerman missed the cut. These are your top price guys. 87, 82, 8,000 Sung Jam. So for whoever asked in the chat, is Ben Griffin a trap play? Could be. He could be, because he would fall in the category of these golfers right here. Maybe not Grazerman, but Siwoo's a past winner. Sung Jae's a past winner. But who knows? I mean, Ben Griffin has played well at the Wyndham Championship before, so I got no issue playing him. We look at some of these other names. We missed out on a top 10 by 1 place. Is that true? That's it? Yeah, 11th. Then we had 2 guys that finished 15th. So it was pretty darn close. Pretty darn close of getting a top 10 finisher for the 2025 season, which is the only other year besides 2026 and 2019 that we looked at that provided 0 golfers from the last week 5 bucket inside the top 10. Course history 3, that's a 2 to 5 bucket, but in the optimizer I made that a 1 to 5, just like recent form 2 is 1 to 5. I think I put recent form 3 as 1 to 5 as well. These are buckets with there are a lot of golfers in them. It's just a no-brainer. Like, there's going to be golfers from that bucket to finish inside the top 10 no matter what. Recent form 4s, the 7K range. It's another tournament where the 7K range just reigns supreme. Has a lot to do with the fact that the strength of field is weak. And also because DraftKings is stupid when it comes to their pricing. And then strokes gained 2, 3, and 4. It says you want 1 of each, but I think I made it 0 to 3 strokes gained 2, 0 to 3 strokes gained 4, and 1 to 4 strokes gained 3. And if I didn't, let's do that right now. Oh, I have 1 to 4 strokes gained 3 and 1 to 3 strokes gained 4. Yeah, that's fine. I can keep it like that. That is A-okay. Cool. There you go. That's the bucket system. Those were the anchor buckets, just to let you guys in. And what should you do with that information? I just said it. You guys can go watch us on replay. Even right now, you can rewind and go back and look. Well, I just gave you all the projections. We went over the buckets. Some of the buckets we actually went over the golfers. But all you would do is go to the cheat sheet, which is free. This is free. Whatever bucket I just told you. Recent form, what was it? Recent form 3s, we want 2 to 5. Can you find 2 golfers from this bucket that you want to anchor around? If you do, do it. Play those golfers. If you don't, that's okay. You don't have to play 2. Maybe just play 1. And then you go on from there. Okay. Yeah, that's it. That's it for the bucket system. I already saw AJ say roll call. So, roll call number 1. By the way, if you are seeing my chat before you are hearing my voice, like more than 10 seconds, hit the live button down below and catch up to us because you're too far behind. Roll call number 1 is who's winning this week? Who is your winner? I want to know who your winner is. Give me your winner. Chris Kirk. Aaron Rye. I don't mind Aaron Rye this week. Johnny B with Tom Kim. Small hands Tom Kim. I love it. T-Mac. I'll go ahead and put down B-Mac. T-Mac and B-Mac. Max McGreevy. Joanne. All right. I'll wait for some of those other guys or some of the other ones to come in. Again, if you saw that chat of mine in the chat, or if you saw my question in the chat, roll in way before you heard me, hit the live button right down here. Make sure you're caught up. Catch up to me. B-Mac, says Alex Smalley. I like it. Ah, I see. I see. I thought you were saying small hands Tom Kim. Easy mistake. Easy mistake. All right. We're going to get into the Marquee Tee Times. And then right after that, I'm building lineups for people who have a badge next to their name. You got a badge next to your name. That means you are a member, a YouTube member to SweetSpot DFS. You only had to pay $1.99 a month to be a member for lineups being built. So go click the join button, hit the red tier, $1.99 a month. I think that's pretty affordable. Hit the $1.99 a month. I will build lineups for anybody that has a badge next to your name. That's what's required to get a badge next to your name. I also stream Wednesday nights, so I have a second live stream like this one for members only if you are on the white tier. So you would hit the join button and hit the white tier. And then that's where you get to see the second stream that I do Wednesday night, where I go over a little bit more specific information of things that I have found throughout the week and basically my strategy, because it's Wednesday night at 9 p.m. We don't have much time to build lineups. And that's like the crackdown time. We're cracking down, building our lineups that are going into the next morning. So anyways, let's go ahead and get in the Marquee Tee Times. Again, you can follow along with me on the cheat sheet. I don't know if you've skipped ahead to this time or you weren't paying attention to times before, but I have a cheat sheet that's available to you guys at SweetSpotDFS.com. It's free. Fantasy Tools cheat sheet. Scroll down. So you find this cheat sheet right here. Click on this. And you can apply the filters to this spreadsheet like I apply the filters to my spreadsheet. So I sort the group rank from smallest to largest, so A to Z. So sort A to Z. And then that puts us in order of the best groups in this field. There are tee times. These are golfers that are paired together. In group 1, you have Cam Young, Justin Thomas, and Alex Fitzpatrick. So what are you supposed to do with this information? Well, I have 9 total marquee tee times. 9. There are 3 golfers per tee time, so that means there's 27 golfers that are in the marquee tee times. Don't worry about that 27 number. Just letting you know that's the total. Of the 9 groups that are in the marquee tee times, select 2 to 4 of those groups. And the reason being is, ever since the 2021 or 2022 PGA Championship, whatever one that Phil Mickelson won, I keep forgetting the Kiowa Island one. Since that tournament, or just a little bit before that tournament, all the way until present day, I've been keeping track of how successful the marquee tee time golfers have been and how many groups have been successful. If you were to choose 2 to 4 groups every tournament dating back to 2021, you would find an optimal lineup golfer in one of them, or I should say in 2 to 4 of them, 93% of the time. Now, there's also another rule that goes with that. Do not pick golfers from the same group. Because if you find 2 to 4 groups and you only select 1 golfer from those groups, and they're not playing together, obviously, you would find, I think it's 83% of the time, you will find optimal lineup golfers that way. Which means 17%. If just I'll play it out for you guys just to show you how this works in real time. Group 1 is Cam Young, Justin Thomas, Alex Fitzpatrick. If you were to select Cam Young and Justin Thomas in your lineups, you're only going to be right at most 17% of the time. At most 17% of the time. Why would you do that to yourself? Play the numbers game, right? That's the whole game theory aspect. Why would you handcuff yourself? Because it might not even be that combination that's going to be successful. It might be Cam Young and Alex Fitzpatrick. Or it might not even be anybody from Group 1. And it would be from Group 2. That would be Jackson Koivin and Hideki Matsuyama. Or maybe it's Jackson Koivin and Sahith Theegala. Or maybe it's Matsuyama and Theegala. But either way, you're only going to be right 17% of the time. But you got to find the right combination of golfers from those groups just to be 17% at most right. So, looking at Group 1, Cam Young, Justin Thomas, Alex Fitzpatrick, find one of those golfers, whatever you like, or maybe none of them. Group 2 is Koivin, Matsuyama, Theegala. Group 3 is Tom Kim, Aaron Rai, JT Poston. Group 4 is Ben Griffin, Alex Smalley, Sepp Straka. Group 5 is Ryan Gerard, Jordan Spieth, Jason Day. Group 6 is Harris English, Taylor Pendrith, Stephen Fisk. Group 7 is Keegan Bradley, Brooks Koepka, Bud Cauley. Group 8 is Keith Mitchell, Matt Wallace, Chandler Phillips. And Group 9 is Eric Cole, Emiliano Grillo, and Lee Hodges. So take a screenshot of this if you can. Any of you guys that are watching this, take a screenshot of this or pause the video and find yourself 2 to 4 golfers that are in different groups. 2 to 4. So what that could look like is, hey, I already said I like Cam Young and Ben Griffin. There's my 2. I don't even need to select anybody else. The optimizer will do its work. It might select 2 more golfers from these marquee tee times, and it could be Keegan Bradley. I mean, it did pick Keith Mitchell quite a bit. So there you go. There's 4 golfers there. They're not playing together. Neither of those 4 golfers are playing together Thursday, Friday. That's where the marquee tee times are. So now it's on you guys. Just for those that have a badge next to their name, I'm building lineups for you guys. Give me 2 to 4 golfers to build lineups around using the marquee tee times. I'll highlight this a little bit better. At least I think it'll be better. There you go. Oh, no. I highlighted every other just to try to make it easier for you to focus in on the golfers that are in the Marquee Tee Times. And while you guys are doing that, let's play some music. Last week, the music was kind of loud, so I apologize for those that did not like that. You know what? While I'm waiting, I'm going to send out the optimizer to you guys. The ones that asked for it. Okay. What's going on, Byron? What's happening, man? Nice to see you. Nice to see you. Let me just copy this over here. And we'll change these. Be 100%. So 2 groups in the afternoon. Good set rules. I mean, yeah, that's what I have down here. AM, PM. I don't have more than 4 AMs and I don't have more than 5 PMs. Kind of just seems like the rule, usually. Okay. So max 1 per group, that's correct. Herc Hideki says AJ. AJ is the first one. Think, right? I don't see anybody else that did. Yeah, I think it's Hideki and Chris Kirk. All right, 5 lineups for you. Cam Young, Matsuyama, Meisner, Kirk, Hisatsune, and Mackenzie Hughes. Don't hate it at all. I meant your optimal groups had 2 groups in afternoon. Oh. Yeah, I don't care how many AM PMs there are, I suppose. I mean, you're selecting the golfers based off of, you know, the criteria you want. I can't add, by the way, I can't add any more conditionals to the Excel optimizer. I already have 200 built into it. So it won't let me do any more than that. Okay. Next lineup, you know what? Let's change this to 70% for these golfers. We don't need 100. Because that lineup isn't terrible, but I don't want you to just always have Cam Young lineups. Next one is Matsuyama, Tom Kim, Ben Griffin, 3 9s and 3 7s. Bezzy, Kirk, Castillo. That is fine. Cam Young, Matsuyama, Meisner, Kirk, Cole, and Pendrith. Oh, I kind of already just built that one. Slightly different. Cam Young, Matsuyama, Meisner, Jordan Smith, Chris Kirk, and Matti Schmid. I like that lineup. I like that lineup a lot. You know what? We haven't done this in a while. AJ, you deserve one of these. It is good. That was good. Oh, I see why my music was so loud. It's because my YouTube is loud. Got it. Last one. Matsuyama, Tom Kim, Ben Griffin, Keith Mitchell, Kirk, and Matt McCarty. Ooh, I don't hate that one, man. That one's good. Okay. It is Cam Young, Matsuyama, or it's Matsuyama, Tom Kim. Or I mean, I'm sorry, Cam Young, Matsuyama, or it's Matsuyama, Tom Kim. I think maybe that's what I said, but it didn't sound that way in my head. Okay. Next one is Nathan Johnson. Nathan Johnson. He wants Aaron Rye and Ryan Gerard. I like it. First lineup is Cam Young, Gerard, Aaron Rye, Sepp Straka, Denny McCarthy, Steven Yeager. Sure, why not? I'm actually going to change these now to 59%. It's a lot of Cam Young that's showing up and not a lot of anyone else. Ryan Gerard, Ben Griffin, Aaron Rye, Meisner, Ben James, Rico Hoey. 998877. I don't hate that. Gerard, Griffin, Rye, Blades Brown, Rasmus Højgaard, Bud Cauley. I like that. Ryan Gerard, Ben Griffin, Aaron Rye, Rasmus Højgaard, Jordan Smith, and Christian Bezuidenhout. Do you want a Jackson Koivin lineup? Because I think I have to make that just happen. Because his rating isn't very well for his price. Can I get something better than this? Maybe this will be better. Here, I'm just going to go ahead and throw in Jackson Koivin, just to have a Jackson Koivin lineup. Koivin, Gerard, Rye, Mitchell, Castillo, AJ Ewert. Okay, one Jackson would be good. There you go. That one's not bad. That one was not bad. Cuckoo, Kachoo. Okay. Joanne with Matsuyama and Meisner. Okay, I like it. All right, Joanne, I'll build you 5 lineups. Cam Young, Matsuyama, Meisner, Eric Cole, Hisatsune, and Sepp Straka. That ain't bad. That is not bad. 10, 9, 8, 7, 7, 7, just like this one. Cam Young, Matsuyama, Meisner. Oh, you don't like Cam Young. Okay, I'll kick out Cam Young. But this one's good. Cam Young, Matsuyama, Meisner, Smalley, Hoey, Mac Hughes. You don't want Cam Young, he ain't in here. Matsuyama, Tom Kim, Ben Griffin, 3 9s, Mac Meisner, Hoey, and Lee Hodges. Not my favorite lineup construction. Never been a fan of 3 9s and 8 and 2 7s, but it's not bad. I mean, I do like Lee Hodges. Think I'm going to force in Jackson Koivin. We can't. Koivin is in a Marquee Tee Time with Matsuyama. I see. You know what? I want to see what happens if I move these now all to 33%. Yeah, get me somebody I haven't seen. Matsuyama, Justin Thomas, Mac Meisner, Jordan Spieth, Blades Brown, and Denny McCarthy. What a lineup. If we went back in time, say we get 2013 Jordan Spieth, 2015 Justin Thomas, which year did Wyndham Clark win the his first US Open? 2022? No, 2024, 2023, whatever. The Wells Fargo that I think Denny McCarthy almost won. That Denny McCarthy. If we had that Denny McCarthy with Jordo and JT, and then let's just say Matsuyama back in 2017 as well. 2017 Matsuyama. I think that's Aaron Hill's US Open. He was good then. That's a really good lineup. Matsuyama, Tom Kim, Michael Brennan, Meisner, Alex Smalley, and Nico Echeverria. That's a really good lineup. I like that one. Decky, JT. Did I not say that other Justin Thomas lineup? Oh, I didn't. Matsuyama, JT, English, Meisner, Sungjae, and Harry Hall. I do like that one. Matsuyama, JT, English, Meisner, Smalley, and Boshu. That's a really good lineup. I'm surprised. 0 Mav McNeely and 0 Keegan Bradley. I actually like Keegan Bradley this week, so I'm gonna put 1 Keegan in your lineups. Matsuyama, McNeely, Bradley, Meisner, Seabez, Max McGreevy. That one's pretty solid. That one's pretty solid. Okie doke. I think that's it for all my members. Yeah, I think that's it. For the members that got lineups built, there's 3 of you. If I get a 2/3 vote, I will build lineups for other people that are not members. But it's up to you, members, to let the other people get lineups built. So up to you guys. If you say go for it or yes, anything positive, that's fine. What would I do? I'm going Cam Young, Ben Griffin, man. Remember, I said this a while ago. It's not that I give you hints as to what I think I would, like, what I think is right, but I tell you what I would do truthfully. It would be Cam Young and Ben Griffin. I mean, that's going to be probably 33% of my lineups. They're going to be that duo. And then from there, I'm just going to mix and match. I think at least 80% of my lineups will have a 10K golfer in them. So Cam Young might be in 50% of my lineups. Jackson Koivin, I don't know the exact number. Maybe it'll be 41-33. So maybe 70% of my lineups will have a 10K golfer, and then the other 30% will just be, I'll start in the 9K range. Go for it. Look at you guys. You're all nice. You're so nice. So any non-members, if you want lineups built, go ahead and put your 2 to 4 golfers to build lineups around. Where is Logan? Good question. I don't know where Logan is. Yeah. So Cam Young and Ben Griffin are going to be like, they're going to be part of my core, and I'd like to see them with an even mix of all the 8K golfers. So 10 8K golf. Yeah, I'll build 30 lineups with Cam Young. 30 lineups with Cam Young and Ben Griffin. And one of the 8K golfers. And I'll spread it around. ownership will be spread around between all the 8K golfers. And then after that, I suppose I can't put Alex Fitzpatrick in that lineup because Cam Young is in it, but I can put everyone else in there. But either way, yeah, 30 lineups, maybe 27 lineups now that there's only 9 golfers. Yeah, 27 lineups. We'll have Cam Young, Ben Griffin, and one of the 8K golfers. And then let's just say anywhere between 5 to 7 Cam Young, additional Cam Young, Ben Griffin lineups won't have an 8K golfer in them. And it might just go down to the 7Ks. It might be an additional 9K. I'm not exactly positive. But we'll make it a little bit different. Okay. Tom Kim and Cam Young. Five lineups for Johnny B. Cam Young, Tom Kim, Keith Mitchell, Blades Brown, Seabez, and Steven Fisk. That's pretty good. Cam Young, Tom Kim, Brian Harmon, Rasmus Højgaard, Jordan Smith, and Taylor Penrith. I also like that lineup as well. Cam Young, Tom Kim, Mav McNeely, first Mav sighting, Matt Wallace, Kevin Yu, and Seamus Power. These are interesting lineups. I like this combo. Cam Young, Tom Kim, Brian Harmon, Sung Jae, Alex Smalley, and Sam Stevens. Love that lineup. You know what? You get this. Oh, I'm getting copywritten for that one. I played that one too long. You get black. This is getting blacked out, man. That is such a good lineup. Cam Young, Tom Kim, Griffin, Wallace, Castillo, and Patrick Fishburne is another good lineup. That was a great lineup. Sweet. Okay. Blades Brown and Ben James. Two young guys, huh? That is a Logan lineup if I've ever heard one. I think that's Logan disguised, everybody. T-Mac is actually Logan. Oh, that didn't have any noise? Well, that's unfortunate. Very low. It's there, though. There. That should have fixed it, right? Nope, just saying nice? What? Oh, I see. Noise. I get it. I get it. Yeah, spelled with a C. Noise. Got it. I got it. Where am I at? Blades and Ben James. Benjamin. I forget how expensive is Ben James. There he is. I saw him. Oh, he was already selected. Where? Right here. Ooh. Okay. Can't read or write. Now see. Can't read or write. You can't spell. All right. Gerard Bradley, Aaron Rye, Blades Brown, Ben James, and Eric Cole. It's a pretty good lineup. Good luck this week and God bless us all. May one of the family win big. Just have to have faith. Yes, Joanne. Good luck to you as well, and to everyone else. One of us will get a big winner. It's bound to happen. Oh, we have made the optimizer upset, but that's because our conditionals are maybe a bit too stingy. Hideki Matsuyama, Ben Griffin, Aaron Rai, Blades Brown, Ben James, and Ryo Hisatsune. That's a good lineup. I like that one. Hideki Matsuyama, Ben Griffin, Harris English, Heath Mitchell, Blades Brown, Ben James. Like that one. JT, Tom Kim, Ben Griffin, Blades Brown, Ben James, Rico Hoey. I like that lineup too. It's 3 9s, 3 7s. I'm a big fan. Let's not do a Decky lineup. But if you like that one, it's Hideki, Ben Griffin, Davis Thompson, Blades Brown, Seabez, Ben James. I also don't want a JT lineup. We can find something better. It just goes to Ryan Gerard instead of Justin Thomas. All right, fine. Ryan Gerard, Ben Griffin, Aaron Rai, Blades Brown, Seabez, and Ben James. Is that another Seabez lineup for you? Oh, that's the first one. Okay. Yeah. That one's fine. That one is A-okay. Byron goes, if somebody has to win big this week, I guess I'll fall on the sword and be that guy. All right, bud. I hope it's you too, man. I like to go Young, Griffin, Thompson. That's not bad. Yeah, absolutely. I have a question. How does Kevin Roy and Kevin Yu do on Bermuda? Kevin Roy. Kevin Yu. Let's go by salary. Aaron Rise, what, 88? 0.73. These are just raw stats over 34 rounds. 0.73. Remember that number. Kevin Yu. 0.106. If I get rid of the grass, Kevin Yu does better. So his strokes gained total goes up. So it would tell us that he's better on non-Bermuda surfaces for Kevin Yu. And then $8,800 Rye. 0.516. What was his number? Again, was it 0.7? So he does better on Bermuda. So 0.5. Yeah, Aaron Rye does better on Bermuda. His strokes gained total is much better than his baseline total. Okay. Was that it? We did Johnny, we did T-Mac. I can't spell no skiwil. No skiwil, like school. Agreed. No James E. I don't know what that means. Roy is good on Bermuda. Kevin Wah. You know what, AJ, I do want to see what a Cam Young, Ben Griffin, Davis Thompson lineup looks like. I do want to see what that looks like. Oh no. Oh wait, I got other people that are locked in. My bad. My bad. All right, let's see what this looks like. That would be fire. Fire! We get Cam Young, Ben Griffin, Davis Thompson, JT Poston, Bud Cauley, and Nick Taylor. I don't hate that. I really don't. If that was my core of 3 golfers, this would be one lineup for sure. And by core, I mean I'd be building 20 plus lineups. That'd be one of them for sure. Not a huge fan of the 10-9, 2-8s, and 2-7s. I do like Zach Boshu though. Just make sure we only select one 8K golfer there. Optimizer. This one's fine. Young, Griffin, Thompson, Smith, Wallace, Finau. Okay, let's not do the 275s together. How about that? I also don't care for Bohazler. Ooh, okay. Cam Young, Ben Griffin, Thompson, Matt Wallace, Bud Cauley, and Johnny Kiefer. I like that one. I think this is a good golf course for Bud Cauley, to be honest with you, but I'm going to lock him out. This also seems like a good golf course for Jackson Suber too, which is probably getting hurt because of his recent performances, or one of them at least. Davis Thompson, Højgaard, Matt Wallace, Hoagie. That's a wonderful lineup. Cam Young, Griffin, Thompson, Højgaard, Wallace, and Hoagie. Okay. I don't have any new people in the chat that are looking for lineups being built. So I think we're going to call it. Keep it under 2 hours. Again, I'm going to be streaming tomorrow night for members only. So if you want a little bit more Sweet Spot DFS in your life, become a white tier member, $4.99. $4.99 a month. And you will get, at least for this month, you will get 4 streams. Oh, Young and Birch? Who the hell is Birch? Cam Young and Birch. Who's Birch? Is this a nickname? Birch? Who is Birch? If this is a nickname, I'm sorry, Byron, but I haven't listened to everything that you've put out there. I don't know who Birch is. Who's Birch? Love you too, B-Mac. Can anyone help me figure out what Byron's saying? Who's Birch? Here, Byron, I'll show you. I don't know why. I think it's trying to pick up like it's a different. It's like a different language. It's trying to translate it. I think this is the translate button here. I have no idea why it's doing that. ChatGPT says Thomas, Gerard, Young, Hall, Coles, and Roy. Okay. All right, dude. My bad. I gotta hover over it, and then it will translate it for me. But it literally says Birch, like I was just showing you. Let's open that back up. Everything else is good. Young and Jackos. Yeah, Koiven. It literally is that. I wonder what that. Hold on. Finish. What does Koiven mean in Finnish or in Finn? Listen, being up north, you can figure out what these names mean. So it is translating Koiven to Birch in my chat. I knew it. Koiven is a Finnish it's like a Finnish name. Definitely very Finnish-esque or whatever you want to call it. Oh my god, that's where it comes from. Should have known. I should have known. You got Cam Young and Koiven? What the hell is going on? Yeah, just, you know, smart chat. Smart chat's like, oh, this guy isn't speaking English, so we're going to translate it. That is so funny. Okay. Why did it choose an 8K golfer? I don't have it choosing one, but Cam Young, Koiven, Brennan, Poston, Hughes, and David Lipsky. I cannot stand David Lipsky. I don't hate him. I just can't stand him. Cam Young, Koiven, Spieth, Colley, Finau, Hughes. Young, Koiven, Spieth, Colley, Castillo, and Boshu. What if I kick out Spieth? So what does he and Brennan have in common? What's going on here? They're not even in the same groups. I don't understand. None of them are in the same buckets. There we go. Young, Koiven, Smalley, Jordan Smith, Matt Wallace, Andrew Novak. Not terrible. Young, Koiven, Rasmus Højgaard, Matt Wallace, Bud Colley, and Johnny Perry. Yeah, shoving. Well, sometimes the optimizer knows, right? We have this nasty taste of Spieth. Like we don't want them. Well, sometimes the optimizer just knows better than us. Young, Koiven, English, Poston, Echeverria, William Mao. Meow. Oh, what a lineup for our South African friend Byron Lindeque. Cam Young, Koiven, Keith Mitchell, Bezzy, Castillo, and Potgieter. Hey, Byron, I don't know if you've ever seen this. I feel like it's sacrilegious, but it's definitely Americanized for sure. I've been slowly been updating the player profiles. Aldrich Potgieter. Nowhere in there does it say Potgieter, which is sad because it just ruins the magic of past listening to Byron Lindeque. Just Americanized. Ooh, look at this lineup. If you want to get a little spicy, Cam Young, Koiven, English, Eric Cole, Hisatsune, and Brandt Snedeker. Yeah, Brandt Snedeker. I would do it. Sneds made the cut at the Rocket Classic, was inside the top 20 for a while. I had no idea how he finished, but I did remember building a lineup last week going, yeah, why not play Sneds? He's figured something out for his old age. All right. There's 30 lineups built tonight. Basically, the optimizer picked everybody but Brooks Koepka, Davis Thompson, Alex Fitzpatrick, Alex Noren, Doug Gim. I like Doug Gim this week, by the way. Benny Coles, Max, Grease Trap, Grazerman, Michael Kim, Thigala, Grillo, RNP. I don't really care about the other guys down here, but interesting. Aaron, you are welcome. All right, ladies and gents. That was good. Keep it under 2. Actually, you know what? For those that are here, let's do roll call number 2. Just type in good night. Just type in good night. That's it. We are going to log off as soon as we hit . All right, I'll catch the other ones that come in here in the chat here, but I'm gonna hit you with the thank you screen, and we're gonna get out of here. Thank you all for watching. Please leave a like, comment, subscribe, all the good stuff on your way out, and I will see you in the next one. All right, bye.